Hey, Shalom, Yeshua. When it starts, always by giving no praise to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakadash, double honors to the apostles of GMS, and honestly, brothers doing the work in truth, one sincerity. So, once again, it's a quick one. Which could go in on experience, right? Because, I've been praying for more experiences, and, the Lord, being the Lord, He made me go through some experiences as I asked, right? And and it's the lessons that you take from them, right? And that is a thing. Yeah, if you catch some hell or whatever, right? You got to remember that the Lord is righteous. You got to answer, okay, cool. What am I learning from this situation, right? Lord ain't just gonna make you go through something, with and not and not pick anything up from it, right? Because for the most part, we got to maneuver in this world. So you might, go through some stuff, but there's always some good that comes out of it, right? So this is experience, right? Late 14th century. Observation as the source of knowledge. Actual observation. Hey, you look at King Solomon. Well, what did he say about the women? Was it Ecclesiastes 7? Well, when he basically said, look, man, he went around, he tried 1,000 men, right? And then of those 1,000 men, right, there was one righteous, right? What's going on there? What the hell is going on there? Yeah, there was one righteous, right? However, he couldn't find, any righteous women. What was that? That was an experiment, right? It was observation. They called that empirical data, right? Where you go out and you perform experiments, right? It says from Latin experienta, right? Oh, so let me read that again. From Old French experience, experiment, proof, experience, right? From Latin experienta, a trial, right? Which is, we're going to stick on that word trial, right? It says proof, experiment, knowledge gained by repeated trials. From experientin, experience, enterprising, active, industrious, present tense, experire, to try, to test, right? So whenever we go through certain things, it's the Lord trying us out. We're going through, a new, what do you call it? Something that we've not done before, not gone out before, because, we're being tried out. And like I said, from that, you got to see what wisdom can be gained from every experience that you have, right? Hey, because you might look at the world from one way, right? And then you think, you think, oh yeah, that only happens because of XYZ. You might even think that shit will never happen to you, right? However, right, experience says completely different, right? Because when you go through that same thing, then you start looking at it from a different way. You're like, oh shit, actually this does happen for more than one reason. This can happen, in this and that circumstance, right? Because that's the whole point. You start getting a better picture of the world, right? Which is why it talks about how the aged men and their wisdom, because they've been through more stuff, right? They've seen life from a different angle to you, right? Like I said, you might be just looking at things from a very rigid, ABC point of view, but that's not this world, right? And that's why also, you got to know the whole story, right? You be talking about shit and you've never even experienced it, right? But then you're talking about it as if you have, right? But you don't even know why. What maybe someone did something or why people do X, Y, and Z in a certain situation, right? But until you've experienced it, then you'll be like, oh shit, right? This is Ecclesiasticus 34:9, right? Which is a nice a staple scripture, right? It says, a man that hath travelled knoweth many things, and he that hath much experience will declare wisdom, right? So when you've experienced a lot of things, well, you become more wise, right? For instance, you might and I know brothers have experienced this, with their elder brothers in their camp or whatever, what have you, or of course the apostles, where you're looking at things from one way, you're like, X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z, but those older men than you, in the truth, right, will basically be like, nah, but really, that, and they'll show you from a completely different perspective, and then you're like, oh shit, that's deep, right, or whatever, what have you. But why is that? Because they've, they're more experienced, they're more seasoned, they've been through more things, right? It says, "He that hath no experience knoweth little," right? And that's a good point, and that's the thing that inspired me in this video. I realized that I knew little about it. And that's what I was saying. There were several different instances where I was making comments about situations, and now I've basically come to realize I knew nothing about those situations, and I was not in the position to even speak about them, despite the fact that I thought I knew about them. I thought I did, right? But then you find out now, hey, you get a Game of Thrones reference coming up. You know nothing, Jon Snow, right? You know nothing, Rhaegar Moff, right? That's what I found out, right? Which in itself is a humbling thing, right? It says, "He that hath no experience knoweth little, but he that hath travelled is full of prudence," right? It says, "When I travelled, I saw many things, and I understand more than I can express." Right? For instance, why so-called African women will cut their hair, right? You read the scriptures, hairs grow over whatever have you. Or you go over there, whatever have you, whether it's the Hamite women or not, might have the hair shaved, but then they'll be like, "No, because it actually gets too hot over there, right? To have the to have long hair, or whatever, what have you." You might might not agree with it. That's what they say, right? Or whatever, what have you, right? But when you're around certain people, around certain things, you're gonna be like, "Oh shit, okay, cool. So now I understand why that's done," right? And then the best one on this topic is the mystery of the Gentiles, right? Because if you don't know about the Gentiles, right, you might be just like, the Jakes are Israelites are only Negroes in America, right? But then, would you call it? You might take a road trip for whatever reason to one of them Eastern European countries, right? Then you realize, fuck, these guys are vibing, right? You might just go to a pub over there or whatever, what have you, and then in fact, fuck it, you might just watch some basketball. Might want to go play some basketball, right? And be like, "Look, man, let me beat these Lithuanians in Lithuania, whatever." And then they beat you. Why? Because you have Israelites in Lithuania, you have Israelites in Albania, Romania. Well, you have Israelites all over the world, right? But when you're around them, that's when you experience, and you're like, "Oh shit, yo, Israel's everywhere." Right, so that's that's one of the things that's going to there, right, in terms of traveling and stuff like that. And then, like I said, I wanted to harp on that point of to try, right, because in this thing of ours, we go through trials, but like I said, the thing to take out of it is what have you learned from this experience, right? Because once again, the Lord ain't just going to make you go through something and there's nothing, that no good that can come of it, right? This is Sirach 2. "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thyself for temptation." Right? Translation, you'll go through some stuff. Right? You're going to go through some stuff. Right? And that's just part and parcel of the job. Right? You signed up for it, man. Right? It's like trying to join an army, right? And then not expecting to do any drills. You think you just go and join the army, right? Sit in the cockpit of a F-35 and then that's you. You're good. No, that's not how it works. You get tried, man, right? And hey, this is a spiritual, keyword spiritual, right, army that is being raised up, right? So you're going to have to go through some stuff, right? Why? For wisdom, for growth, and also, in preparation for the trials, the real trials are to come. Because right now, what we're going through is light work, right? But what is to come? Not so much. When Esau's coming down, right, having great wrath because he knows his kingdom's about to fall, that's going to be a much harder time. You're going to be built up in the faith for all of that, right? It says, "Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble," right? "Cleave unto him and depart not away," right? So you start going through some hell, and all of a sudden you want to dip. Nah, you're in the wrong spirit if you're trying to do that, right? It says that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. An example given is Job, right? At the beginning, he loses everything, right? But what's the last words written in Job, right? Well, this is the last couple of paragraphs basically speak on his latter end was better than his beginning, right? Which is beautiful. And that's what this is going into here. This is verse 4. It says, for whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. Right, so praise the Lord. You catch some hell, hey, throw it up. Right? Brock there about Shem Yahshai. Or you may not like what you're going through. You may not like the outcome of a situation. Right? At the end of the day, the Lord knows what you need. And hey brothers can attest to that. You might be going through some hell, right? And you're thinking, you're lamenting, you're stressing, whatever. But then when you come out of that hell, you realize you're in a better position than you were at the beginning, right? So I'll carry on. It says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state, right? It says, be patient, right? Because the Lord is going to deliver you from that situation, right? It says, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Right? Believe in him. Believe in him. Right? So you got to have faith, right? When the Lord said, he's going to deliver you from something, you got to have faith in that, right? And order thy way right and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old, right? Hey, look at the examples, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, right? Look at all of those examples, right? The Lord came, right, and delivered them, right? And once again, in terms of experience, right, there are brothers that have been to jail, right? There are brothers that have experienced that hell, right? Yet the Lord delivered them from those situations, right? So then they can bring their experiences to you and be like, look, man, hey, you'll be all right, man. Comfort you. You be like, oh, you might be all stressed, and you have a child or whatever, right? The child goes, okay, yes, daddy, breathing in and out roughly like that, right? But yeah, that's the point on that. Well, so you're going to be tried out, man. You come to serve the Lord, you're going to be tried out, right? You're going to have to go through some stuff. You're going to have to go through some experiences so that when you talk, you can talk with conviction, right? You can be like, look, man, that's not really how it works, right? It says Daniel 12 and 10, it says, many shall be purified, and we just read what happens to gold, right? Gold has to be purified, right? It says, and made white spiritually, right? Made clean, made pure, right? And tried, right? And we go into this word tried here, right? To fuse, refine, right? Cast, found, a goldsmith melt, pure, purge away, try to smelt, refine, to test, right? So you're going to be tested, you're going to go through some stuff, right? It says, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand. Now that's talking about Esau, right? Because Esau's the wicked, and he ain't going to understand. He don't understand. He don't understand, and he don't want to understand. Why? Because he's the wicked, right? That's why you see Edom trying to break these scriptures down, and they're just talking some madness, man. Some, they're just talking all kind of shit, right? It says, but the wise shall understand, right? So the elect of Israel, they're going to understand the deep breakdowns of these scriptures, but they will be tried, right? In that process. They'll be purified in that process to salvation, right? It says 1 Peter 1 and 5 to 7. It says, who are kept by the power of the Most High through faith unto salvation, ready to be revealed in the last time, wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, ye are in heaviness through manifold temptations. And let me look up this word here, temptation. Putting to proof. And we read, experience, right? Hey, the word is there, right? Temptation, to try, right? So it looks says so wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, you're in heaviness through many trials, through many experiences, right? So that's the point. You know, we will go through stuff, right? That's just that's just part of the job, right? We'll go through some stuff, go through experiences, and the hope is that we grow by those experiences, right? Not even the hope that is the end of it. Right, and the righteous man will understand that he's going through experiences for his own good, right? And he'll praise the Lord in that. He'll praise the Lord, which, like I said, sometimes you forget. Right? Yeah, when hey, let's say you were hoping to get a job and you get the job, you go, hey, everyone's like, yeah, right? But then when you lose a job, you ain't saying but you should be. Right, because there is there's a greater plan, right? Which, as I'm saying, sometimes you may not consider, but there is, right? And like I said, you brothers who've experienced things like this, where they've lost a job and they're through, right? And then for a period of time, they were friends as jobless or whatever, right? They just got it in with the scriptures. They were studying, they grew a lot in the faith and the spirit or whatever, right? And then the Lord sent them a better job. Right, that's just how the Lord works. It's always good from a situation, right? So I believe that's all I have. Yeah, that was all I have. So Lord's order was edifying, right? Experience, Archean. All right. Until the next time, I'm gonna say Shalom.